Well, happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to the Today Show. I'm your host, Dr. Laurie Davis, and joined by my colleague, friend, Virginia Clarke. Good morning, Virginia.
Good morning, Laurie. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing really well. I think here in the Great Northwest, we're going to get some rain today. Then it's going to be sunny. Then it's going to rain for 3 more days, which I don't mind. Keeps those wildfires away.
Exactly. Yep. I did hear they said Jasper's under control now.
After all these weeks. Wow.
Yeah.
Big fire in California, though, right now. 20,000 acres burned. Only a 3% containment, and they've evacuated 3,000 people. So, and it's so hot there right now. I was speaking with one of our colleagues yesterday from California, and she just said it's just unbelievable. Hot.
Scary.
Hot.
Yeah.
So we do give a brief weather report and anything else we want to catch up on. We've had a good weekend and back on track with season 2 of the Today Show and getting our guests lined up. Have some terrific guests coming up for the fall.
Perfect.
Both on the Today Show and, of course, on Tuesdays we do the press box with Doug Smith. And so lots of action there too for some really interesting guests as well. So Monday, we talk about self-care, self-improvement. I like to call it Motivational Monday because it's a great way to start off your week, isn't it? I love your Monday morning show.
Yeah.
Because
it's about fun.
Yeah, that's right. And get us ready for the week. So today, Virginia and I wanted to collaborate and talk to you a bit about our cancer stories, because in the last it's just been 2 years this month since I had my surgery.
Yeah.
My husband turns 83 this month. The dog turned 7. I'm thinking September. Oh my, busy. So yeah. So I had cancer. You've had cancer. We're both clean right now.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but when you were diagnosed, you were told you've got cancer. Where do we go with that? Wow. What did you do? I felt like somebody hit me over the head with a 2x4, tell you the truth.
Oh, absolutely. I stood there just stunned, just staring at the nurse. No words, lost for words. It's especially when it's not expected. Completely out of left field. Not even all of a sudden, one day you find a lump, the next day, it's cancer, breast cancer. So, I literally stood there just trying to keep my composure. And just what's the next step? Step?
Yeah. So, the same with me. I had a hysterectomy, so I had some cancer cells on the wall of my uterus, but it was early detection, and I got treated very well and right away. But the shock, I don't even know how I drove home that day from the doctor's office.
Yeah.
I don't even remember driving home, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you say that. Yeah, actually. And for me, coming home and having to tell my husband and my son. Yeah, that I think was the hardest. Yeah. When you have your child look at you and say, "Are you going to die?"
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think any parent ever wants to hear that.
No. No, not at all.
No.
And when I came home and shared it with my family, who is my husband right now and my dog, my husband said, and you're worried about what? And your point is?
Yeah.
But that kind of got me out of that funk, that those words. But so let's talk about the old Virginia and the old Laurie. I don't know that I'd be sitting here right now if the old Laurie had reacted. Because I'm like you. What's next? What's next? What do we do next? We have a plan, right?
Yeah.
I have a very good story I want to share, and I hope she doesn't mind. But on Thursday, I interviewed the beautiful Jessica Hutton, and she's a new friend, and you'll get to meet her. And she said it's kind of like, because she's also a survivor, and she said, we work a lot in the Indigenous communities, and there's lots of chaos, crises, and going on. And she said, we're doing it all backwards. It's like there's a building on fire. And that's what she compared her diagnosis to. There's a building on fire. And nobody said, okay, so what are you going to do now, Virginia, that we've told you have cancer? Or what are you going to do now, Laurie? No, there was a plan. There was plan A, plan B, step C. And she said, it's kind of like people don't understand that there's a fire and there's no water hose here.
Yeah.
It's just, your community's on fire. So what is it you need? Well, put the fire out first, and then I'll tell you what I need, right?
Yeah.
I love that. that.
That's a great analogy. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Put the fire out first, and then we'll have a plan of what we're going to do. So I guess that diagnosis, I felt like I was, that burning building, and I didn't know how I was going to get out of there.
Yeah.
Until the professionals step in and say, okay, here's what you do next, and here's what you do next. And yeah. And my doctor actually told me it was cancer before I even was examined or anything, when I told her what happened. And she said, oh, that's cancer. And I was having an ultrasound the very next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything moved fast when I got in with the doctor. And she said, I think we're going to put a rush on this one.
Yeah.
My history, I had a couple of years previous, had a cyst in my breast in the same position, had it drained. And they said, sometimes they can refill, so just keep an eye out. So when I found the lump again, the same spot, I didn't panic. I was like, well, I've already been told this can happen. So I didn't stress. Okay, I can't get in for a month to the doctor, whatever, we just do what we got to do. And she was, no, I think we're going to put a rush on this one. And I'm like, okay, this is not great. Okay, what's the next? But everything moved so fast. I went in on a Monday for the ultrasound, and then by Friday, they had a biopsy done.
Yeah.
It moved fast, so fast.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to have had such wonderful medical care. It doesn't happen to everybody, I know, but it happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the old Laurie, let's see, who was a perfectionist, a control freak. Let's see, and I could spend a lot of time in denial. So the old Laurie might not have even gone to the doctor. Because the old Laurie would have said, oh, it's just a little bleed out of some sort, And I would have probably, by the time I finally would have gotten to a doctor, it might have been too late. Because the old Laurie was queen of denial. And I am not kidding you, Virginia. And I'm not talking about that river in Egypt either. I would, it's like, and how did I know that? Well, the rest of my life was reflective of that. I was in a very troublesome marriage. I didn't even realize it because I was so in denial. People would say, oh, you guys, what a great couple. And I'd go, I know, isn't it wonderful? and then, my first husband tried to take his life twice in a week and ended up in a mental institution and disappeared in September of 1986. He's been missing since 1986. And I can chuckle about it now, but I mean, that's, but people would say to me, so are you married? You go up with the girls. Are you married? Are you single? And I'd say, well, actually, I'm widowed. Oh, I'm so sorry. How did he pass away? He was in a really bad car crash. That's how I know The old Laurie would not have handled this the way I did this time, right?
Absolutely.
That's probably why God waited for me to get it now, so that I'd handle myself properly. And not be in denial and get to the doctor right away, So that the old Laurie would have just pretended it wasn't there and looked good and talked it up, and it would have been something else, right? Yeah. So what about you, the old Virginia?
The old Virginia she probably would have stopped at the bar after the diagnosis and sat there and drank herself stupid.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because that still, as a recovering alcoholic, that was still my first thought. Mm-hmm. If any time to relapse, today is the day after that.
Every right to do so.
Exactly. And I'm like, I think just one drink. It's always just that one drink. But my personality is that one drink turns too many drinks, and that's too many. One too many. Mm-hmm. So I knew I had to think about things in a different way, and just take it one day at a time. Like everything else that had gone on since I became sober, because I've had a lot of situations fly in my face since I became sober, and I managed to get through them all. So I just hung on to that and knew that I had the strength and the will to get through it.
Yeah. So let's go there, because you did a little research. We all love Louise Hay. And by the way, next Monday, you and I are going to be joined by Dr. Patricia Crane, who is a certified Louise Hay coach, and she trains other coaches. But we love her book, and You Can Heal Your Life. Yeah. And so what about what you did a little research on breast cancer, and then you connected some dots. So let's do that. Let's go there.
So anything dealing with the breasts represents mothering and nurturing and nourishment. Okay. But breast problems are refusal to nourish the self.
Oh.
Putting everyone else first. Overbearing, overmothering, overprotection.
Oh, that wouldn't be you, would it?
No, it was actually. My dad passed in 2022, and I had so much to deal with there that was first and foremost over everything. And even over the fact that, yes, I had had a cyst in 2021, should have had a mammogram in 2022, was just too much going on. Too much going on. So by the time that everything was dealt with the estate, we are now in July 2023, and I still haven't even grieved his loss. So I was in the process of grieving after I could finally put everything down with the estate, do my grieving, and in December of 2023, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Yeah.
So if you don't pay attention and take care of yourself, your body will do it for you.
That's true. And how many of us do not even know how to listen to our body when it's trying to tell us something?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I too was the same. My cancer came after COVID, which I didn't ever have COVID, but during COVID, we lost our home.
Yeah.
I had given up my retreat center. We downsized.
Yeah.
We moved after 12 years on our acreage, which we loved, and I still miss it to this day. So all that stress, and the body finally went, enough now.
Enough.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Take a step back. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because
but that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
When you think, when you are doing the work that we do, and then all of a sudden something like this happens to us, that's a hard pill to swallow. Why? Why? And then you realize, like you say, when you actually sit down and look at what you have been through, what your body's been through, those, Yeah. All those losses, the death, the COVID, the lockdowns, everything is trauma. It's trauma to your body. And if it's not dealt with, it will find a way to deal with you.
That is correct. And,
Yeah.
COVID and all those situations that COVID presented to people
Yeah.
was trauma, is
It is
trauma.
trauma. It is
And I
trauma.
always share this about my friend Doug because he always tells me, and they base this on the recovery from 9/11, which is coming up soon, the
Yes, it is.
anniversary. But 9/11 impacted, all of us, but
Yeah.
New York City in itself, that demographic. And it took months and months and months for them to see the final results of mental health and physical health. So if you think of COVID, which
Yeah.
was global,
Yeah.
we haven't seen the ramifications yet. He said it's just continuing to rise. It's going to peak in March of 2025. We're going to see the peak of the ramifications of COVID in the mental health care system and the physical health care system. It's going to
Yeah.
all come crashing down.
Yeah.
And they think everybody's tired now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait till then. All right. Well, we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, let's talk a little bit more about the connection that we've made between our personal work that we've done in the area of self-worth and how that has actually impacted our wellness, all aspects of our wellness.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show here on the Disability Channel, and we're streaming live right now on Laurie Davis Facebook page, YouTube, Laurie Davis Show Host, 5 Minutes to No Limits, that my YouTube channel there, the Disability Channel, other platforms, and we're being sent out all over the place. So we're really excited about that. Our numbers continue to rise and our popularity. But it takes 3 things to make a great show. Did you know that, Virginia?
I didn't. Tell me.
Yeah, 3 things. Number 1, content. Well, do we have any problem with content in our world? No. We could air for the next 10 years and never repeat ourselves.
Exactly.
An audience, a following. And so, we're busy working on getting our ratings up so that we can have that following. And then sponsorship, which is usually the last thing to arrive. But certainly we have all 3 of those happening for us as we speak. So today we're talking about how our level of self-worth actually impacts our health. Mm-hmm. So I think we should start with sharing with our audience our definition of self-worth. What does that look like? What is it even? And I built a whole business on it. So there's lots there.
Yeah, self-worth, just loving yourself, just knowing you're worthy, just that self-confidence, self-esteem is a big part, but self-worth is knowing that you are worthy of everything good, and accepting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being able to receive it.
Being able to receive and being able to accept. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know for me, the development or the restoration and repair of myself, repair and restoration of my self-worth. We all have it. We come with it. All of our little kids have it. They don't care about what anybody thinks, or they're not tied up in the conditioning yet or the programming. I always share the little story about, if a beautiful little girl walked in right now, what would we say to her? We'd say, "Hi, you're so beautiful." And she'd go, "I know." Right? Yeah. And that was always perceived as being conceited or prideful. And so that got beat out of us very early on in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. And we come here loving who we are. We think the world revolves around us, actually. Yeah. So then, of course, things happen and it gets stolen. But my self-worth has been tested on many occasions. And what I discovered was that was a part of me that nobody could touch.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I got it all back, I became very protective of it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though other people tried to put me down or abandon me or make fun of me or whatever, none of that could touch that.
Mm-hmm.
So when the whole world around you is screaming that you don't have any, you're not worth anything, and you'll never amount to anything. I mean, people have said this stuff to you and me.
Yeah.
You'll never. I had a grade 10 teacher said, "Oh, with the marks you had in junior high, you're not going to amount to much." Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the only measuring stick for me. I knew that
Exactly.
was one small aspect. So, yeah, being able to maintain that when everybody, when you're told you have cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and you go, I'm still beautiful, I'm still loving, I'm still
Yeah.
kind, I'm still all that. But Virginia, what about this comment? I'd love your thoughts on this. Do you believe or know that there are people out there who actually don't even think they deserve to be well?
It's a sad state, but it's true. It's, if you don't have that self-worth, and I'll talk about my dad. My dad was an alcoholic,
Mm.
and he tried to quit many times, but he didn't have that self-worth to stay sober. He didn't think same thing. He did not think he deserved it. He didn't think he deserved to be happy. He didn't think he deserved to be loved. And it's a sad state that we do have people still in those situations that don't understand or have not, you know, it's, we almost need to be taught how to regain our self-worth from all those traumas and stuff we've been through, right? There's so many different aspects of dealing with trauma, when we talk about it, but you have to deal with the root cause. And if you can't deal with the root cause, you're never going to think that you are worthy of anything good.
Yeah. Like I don't deserve to make that much money. I don't deserve to have a great partner. I don't deserve to live where I want to. And so when we have those tapes playing, that conditioning, then we set things up so that those tapes are the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we would be living a lie.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the beautiful thing about tapes, they
What
can
is
be recorded over.
And erased. Yes. And you can play new tapes.
Yep.
Yes. That is correct.
We're aging
So,
ourselves.
yeah, I know. Yeah, tapes.
Right.
Old technology.
But
Right.
it's the truth. They can be erased and recorded over. It doesn't matter how long you've had that tape playing. It can be erased and recorded over. Everyone is worthy. Everyone is worthy. But you have to believe it. You have to believe it, and you have to live it.
Well, I want to share. Yeah, I want to share this too because I was thinking about my own cancer and I thought, okay, cancer cells on the walls of your uterus. Now, how does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, when I had my surgery, I agreed to having my ovaries removed.
Yes.
I was cleaned out, so to speak.
Yeah.
So now I'm missing body parts. I used to say, I have all my parts, and I was so proud of that. But that area of the body represents creativity.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I have had more brilliant ideas since I've had my surgery. I've probably created more in the last 2 years than I did the years prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
In the way that I want to express myself, the show, writing books,
Yeah.
with our mentor Sylvia Somerville,
Mm.
creating new products, new programs, because it represents our creative place. you know, and out of there comes creation. That's where babies come from, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't make that connection till I read
Yeah.
Louise's book, and she says, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, anything to do with your ovaries, that's your point of creation. Yeah, everything is there." So it's
And
like,
when you think back to what you've been through, all those beautiful things that you've created, in a sense, were lost
yeah,
from COVID.
that's
Right?
right.
So all those, your retreat center, your acreage, that space that you created to help other people heal was, and it's funny when you actually sit down and look at it. And I thought, oh, I'm going to look again, because I did read when I was first diagnosed, but I think that I wasn't in a space yet to receive and to understand. Oh, I'm not overbearing. And I'm like, well, obviously you are. Uh, your body's telling you different. So just listen. Just stop and listen. Pause. Do what you have to do. I am not the most patient. I'm very rarely ill. So this really, really kicked me in the butt to have to actually just let other people take care of me. And to receive that and to accept that as part of the self-worth, going, yeah, okay, I don't have to, my son's at the age where, he can take care of himself. The same thing. My husband's there. So yeah, okay, I'll sit on the couch, do what you got to do, and just heal. And that's what you have to do.
Yes, but you see, if my self-worth isn't intact, I wouldn't even do that, because I don't think I deserve that.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That support, the love, the care that is all around us. And that's another thing that I used to be in denial about. Nobody supports me. I don't have any friends. Like,
yeah.
I almost was a whiner, I think. Okay. And I'm going, yeah, you do, Laurie. You have lots of support. But if you don't tell people what you need, how can they support you? They're not mind readers.
Exactly.
But that was a self-worth thing. I was always the victim, why me, poor me, life sucks,
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, it does. And it's supposed to. And it's when you look at the problems and the challenges with different eyes, you see all the gifts.
Yeah.
So what are some gifts that have come out of our cancer and other situations, COVID? Well, I look at all the beautiful people I've met since COVID.
Yeah.
And the incredible people that we have around us all the time. And more coming.
Yeah, and it changes. Yeah, it definitely changes your outlook. It's made my family closer as well. And especially with the cancer, it's really, in a sense, put me in my place where I, to let go of some of that control that you think that you have to have with the self-worth. I've been doing the self-worth journey now for a few years, and it's still, there's no end time. So do I kind of relapse? And yes, in a sense, okay. But sometimes, things are thrust upon you and you don't have a choice but to get things done and to, not neglect yourself. I'm not going to say that, but I know that I did, right? My focus was main thing, just getting everything dealt with my dad. And that was my focus. And, not taking care of myself, not grieving, because going through that grieving process is self-care, allowing yourself to grieve and allowing yourself to, work through those stages. That is a form of self-care. And when you're neglecting that, all that stuff is stored in your body. Well,
exactly.
Right? Your body's going to say, yeah, if you don't listen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And of course, we've heard a lot of people talk about self-love, and it's a good thing to love who you are. But some people misinterpret that as being arrogant or conceited, like a narcissistic kind of personality, but that's not what we're talking about.
No.
We're talking about recognizing that we have value, and therefore it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves and to receive. Now, a lot of times when the self-worth is low, people just want to give, and help. That was me too, because that made me feel good about who I was at the time. But nobody ever really sat us down and taught us the proper way to grieve, the proper way to receive, the proper way to love oneself. I mean, who had those conversations when they were kids? I sure didn't. No, me either. Because my parents didn't know anything about that.
No.
So the art of loving myself is something else we have for people. We have 4 little workshops called The Art of Loving Myself. And it's a cute little workbook. If you ever want to do that, it's cheap to do, and it's fun. It's self-directed. You know, we have so much to offer. And this is a little thing I put together to show people how to love yourself.
Yeah, because it's easy to be told, oh, you have to love yourself. But if you're right, if you've never had that conversation, or if you don't have that self-worth concept, well, how do I love myself? That's where we can fall prey to those addictions again, the alcohol, drugs, shopping, eating, any of those. Well, if we're not taught the proper way to deal with this or how to do it, absolutely. We can fall prey to those addictions and think that we're loving ourselves, but really we're not. No.
And I believe that one of the things that I like to refer to is giving myself permission. Giving myself permission to have some fun. Giving myself permission to take a day off. Giving myself permission to do those things that I want to do for me. Because I know if I don't take care of me, and you're the same, if you hadn't taken care of yourself through this whole ordeal, we have to do that first so we can help our families and be there for them.
Yeah.
So it's not about selfish.
No. Give yourself the permission to say no and not feel guilty about it.
Oh, yeah. I was bad at that.
Me too.
Because my self-worth was so low, it was very important that everybody liked me. So I would do things to get the approval. So if you're one of those people listening right now, or who hear the show down the road, if you are a people pleaser, that is evidence of low self-worth. The evidence is there. And I've had people say to me, well, Laurie, I'm good. I've got lots of self-worth. And I look at their life and I go, I'm sorry, but your life is not reflective of that.
Yeah.
Because you have all these rules for yourself, or you deprive yourself, or you, we have the goods.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about, we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, let's talk about something that we wanted to do for you and we're continuing to do for you. And I was so delighted that the minute I mentioned it to you, you said, sure. Because you see, the old Virginia might have said, oh, no, we're good. Right? Am I right?
Absolutely.
Because we wanted to do a fundraiser for Virginia because she's been off work now almost a year. And that impacts your income. So we're going to do a fundraiser. So we're going to talk about that when we come back.
Perfect.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, your host today on the Today Show with my colleague, Virginia Clarke. And on Mondays, we do it. We do it. We don't just talk it. We live it. We live it. We're living proof that our level of self-worth impacts our health. And both Virginia and I are cancer survivors and may not have been that easy to survive if it had not been for the work we've done on ourselves personally.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit more at the end of the show. But right now, I want to share with our viewers that next Sunday night, September 15th, from 6 until 8 p.m. Mountain Time, I'm going to deliver a workshop called 10 Ways to Build Confident Children. And if you are a mom, a dad, an uncle, a grandparent, an auntie, a school teacher, a daycare worker, a Sunday school teacher, anybody who works with kids needs these 10 tools.
Yeah.
I don't think people know how to do that. And actually, this particular workshop is our design of an anti-bullying workshop. Because guess what, kids? Bullies don't prey on kids that are confident and look powerful and walk a certain way. So let's raise confident children instead of trying to address the problem. Let's come up with the solutions, and that's what we do quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to that. And this is a fundraiser for Virginia. If you would like to attend the workshop, you are going to, step one, you're going to send $25 to this email address, unbound.bravery@gmail.com. That's Virginia's. And no money comes here. All the money goes to Virginia. If you want to give more than $25, that's okay. But that's the cost of coming to the workshop. So if you want to attend that workshop next Sunday evening, did you have a flyer there that you can hold up, Virginia?
I do. Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. Look at that. So we're going to have our workshop next Sunday night. Get out your notepads and send your money off to Virginia. And that can be done in an e-transfer by sending it unbound.bravery@gmail.com. Do you have a PayPal account, Virginia?
I do, and you can use the same email.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our American friends can send you money from there through PayPal. All right. Yeah. So looking forward to that. So when I first asked Virginia, or didn't ask her, I said, look, I'd like to do a fundraiser. This is a great product. We need to get out there after school starts. Yeah. And what would the old Virginia have done with an offering like that? Because I know you've received some money already, and you know it's been trickling in over the summer, but now we want to do a significant event.
I would have said no. Absolutely would have said no. And exactly what you said. Oh no, we're good. Everything's okay. But I appreciate, thank you. I don't even know. It's very humbling to be going through cancer to the point where, you're put off work, chemo and surgery and all that. It's the friends and family who have stepped up and offered, without self-worth, I absolutely would have been, oh, no, don't worry about that. No, it's okay. But knowing, I was, having my self-worth intact, I was able to accept these gifts. And that's what I look at them, is their gifts. My friends and my family, the support has been just overwhelming almost, but really why? I've had people say to me, you're a good person. Of course people are going to support you. And even just to hear that, the old Virginia would have been like, no. Right? With self-worth, it's thank you, and having people say to me, I do post on Facebook. I have family scattered all over. And I had to reach out when everything first started. We needed a hereditary background of cancers in the family. So I had a lot of family scattered all over the province, whatever. And so I've been posting on Facebook quite a bit, my journey, just to let people know how things are going. And I've had people come up and say, you're an inspiration.
Oh.
And the old Virginia would have never accepted that. No. But with the self-worth intact, and I can say thank you. to people who say that to me. You're an inspiration. And just be okay with being humbled by the love and the support that I have been receiving, because it's, it's another trauma. It is another trauma. What your body has to go through. We had, talked a bit about if we didn't have self-worth. When I first started losing my hair, I keep my hair fairly short anyhow, but still the day that I scratched my head and a whole bunch of hair came out, it was still just another one of those kick in the gut, and it's like, this is real. This is happening, and there's no way you're getting around it. So, even just going through that and being okay with going bald. I always wanted to try bald, but not this way.
Right.
Like just accepting that and being okay with taking pictures of myself as I was at the time. I mean, my hair's growing in now. I was finished my chemo in June. So my hair is finally starting to come back. Mm-hmm. And being okay with it, being okay with, the fact that this is life right now. But I had so many people say, with the shape of your head, you're the only one I know that could rock that hairstyle.
Exactly.
So you always, if I was that old Virginia, I don't even know if I would have stepped out of the house. I probably would have been too embarrassed or too. I would say when I was out with my son, do you want me to put a hat on? Do you want me to cover, No, Mom. Why would you do that? So even just to have my family accept.
Oh, wow.
Right. It gave me that confidence to go out and, you know what, this is who I am right now. I never played the victim. It is what it is. Let's just stay strong, get through chemo. And I honestly do believe that if I did not have those self-worth tools in my tool belt and be healthy in body, mind, and spirit when I started chemo, I don't think I would have gotten through it and I'm not going to say it was easy, because it's not. No. But I think I got through it really, really well. I stayed positive,
Well, you never missed a show. You came to all of our gatherings. You participated all the while.
Yeah. So, just to stay on that side and not let it get you down and not, did I have down times? Absolutely. Were there times that I sat there and cried? You betcha. But I didn't stay there. Right? I didn't stay there. I cried, I did what I had to do, and then got up and went to the next step. Trying to keep routine as much as I can, especially, my son, when it was in his last year of school, with everything going on, you try and keep it as normal as you can, because you still have other people depending on you, even when you're going through it. So having that strength and that confidence, and I'm not saying, like you said, the narcissistic confidence, being confident to know I can get through this, and my goal at the time when I first started chemo, I just want to see my son walk down and get his diploma. That was my goal. And I kicked that out of the park, and then the next one, okay, then we got to get through surgery. The same thing. There was nothing there. There's nothing left. I talked to my surgeon Friday, and he said, you had a complete and total reaction to the chemo, and there wasn't even a tumor left when they went in.
Wow.
Yeah. Nothing in the lymph nodes, nothing. So as I sit here today, I mean, can I say I'm cancer free? I can, but it's not, you can't officially say you're cancer free. I still don't know the next step. So, that patience that I'm so great at, really, that has been my learning experience through this, is just the patience, being patient, because, you don't, you don't move the healthcare field. You got to wait until they talk to you. So yeah, but I feel like with the family and friends and even the healthcare system, I've been really blessed through this process, and just the strength is, having all the strength behind me and beside me, and the love has been, yeah. But yeah, the old Virginia would never have accepted it. Nobody probably would have known.
No.
Honestly, nobody would have known. Yeah.
Yeah. Isolation, secrecy. Yeah. Well, we have a saying out east, you're only ever as sick as your secrets. So, right? So when you've got that, let people know.
Exactly.
We forgot to mention, Virginia, that the workshop is online. It's a Zoom workshop, right?
Absolutely.
So we're having a workshop on Sunday evening of this coming week from 6 till 8 Mountain Time. We're going to do 10 ways to build confident children. So this would be a terrific workshop for anybody that has kids in their lives, which would be all of us. And by the way, that also applies to adult children. If you have adult children who are lacking confidence, then there are things you can do to support them. So this just isn't about little kids. This is for people who really want to help others build their confidence, regardless of their age. And the cost of the workshop is $25. And you send that directly to Virginia, either through e-transfer here in Canada or PayPal in the United States or Canada. And the address is that address is your account address for both.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to having a really nice crowd. We're really going to pump that out there this week, and just let everybody know that we're having an event, a special event on Sunday. All right. So yeah, I'm just so proud of you, and so proud of what you've done. I think we should put another certificate on the wall.
Okay.
We'll get yeah. Cancer be gone certificate.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
But it's an ugly thing, and there's a lot of people out there suffering and struggling with that, with cancer. And like you, I was shocked because there has been some cases of cancer right around the same time that I had mine. A couple of my cousins, and one passed, and because it was too far gone. But other than that, there was very little. There's none on my mom's side to speak of at all. And on my dad's side, it was mostly the men who had cancer. But but my dad died full of cancer, but he was 93. So but he had throat cancer when he was 67, and he had his voice box removed, and he talked with one of those larynx machines, and but he lived to be 93 with that.
Yeah.
We were so proud of him, because most people that were in the hospital with him had passed. And but he was a World War II veteran, and they came home with lots of chemicals in their system, and he was a heavy smoker at one time. And yeah, it's all very scary. And Kathy's going to do her work. This is we've got quite a few live viewers right now. And Kathy's going to try and get this episode down to your home TV today for distribution. Yeah, because cancer, we've all been touched by it. If we haven't had it, we know somebody who has.
Yeah.
Right. And after all these years and all the money that's been invested, nope, there's no cure yet. One more walk and we'll cure breast cancer. Right.
So they say. So they say.
So they say. So they say.
I'm just going to leave that out there. Yeah. I know. It is a situation, and when we think about what we're going through, you just have, in a sense, sometimes a guilty feeling. I have a couple people, one lost a child and one lost a mother around just recently. And so when I got my surgery pathology saying that I was clean, you almost have a little bit of guilt.
I had that too.
Right? But my situation is different. And if I didn't have my self-worth intact, that guilt would probably have eaten me up. That why do I get to be okay and these other people don't? Right? So, when you think about that in that sense, everybody's different, every situation is different, and you need to celebrate the wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have to celebrate the wins because, like you said, if you didn't have it yourself, someone who's had it.
Right.
And you have to celebrate those wins, because if you don't, then where's the hope? Where's the hope for people? And that confidence and love to say, when people come up to you and say you're an inspiration, we need that in this world. We need that in this world. And yeah, I'm going to pat myself on the back and be an inspiration. If Absolutely. I can do that and I can help one person, then my journey is not wasted.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sylvia Somerville is here also, and he had a nice thing to say. There are so many traumas in life, and often people do not realize that is what is causing them to lose their self-confidence, their self-worth. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we immediately have a preconceived idea of what our value is or what that's supposed to look like. And so that's why the old Virginia wouldn't have told anybody and hid and isolated, because of that lack of being okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part for me. Do I miss my property? I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Do I miss having my retreat center? I miss it terribly. And it impacted us so much that I nearly gave up my business. I thought, you know what? I should just retire and go do something else that doesn't require so much of me. And then along came GSFE, the Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs. I'm committed to that organization because that saved me. The women in that organization, Dr. Robbie, Dr. Susie, Joan, Dr. Joan Wakeland, these women got me out of that hole. They don't even realize what they did for me. So I think I'm going to do a show just with them and talk about GSFE, because of course you and I direct the Canadian network. And if you're a female entrepreneur out there and you would love to connect with other women in business, then it's $75 a year. Oh my gosh, it's nothing.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, US, it's nothing. It's nothing. We spend that on coffee. So, so I'm going to be talking to Dr. Robbie and getting her back on the show and promoting GSFE for the fall and winter. And I look forward to our sessions as well. And by the way, we should let them all know about the fundraiser.
Yes.
You can do that. I think
I can post it on, I can post it on their Facebook page. They do have a Facebook page. Absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Okay. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, twice tomorrow, 9:00 with Dr. Ramin Modiri. I have no idea what he has planned for our finance.
It's always fun.
It is fun. And then an hour after that, or 2 hours after that, I have the press box with Doug Smith. And we have an amazing guest, a veteran athlete who has participated in the Invictus Games in the past. And Nick will be there with us to make it a great show. So we've got a big week lined up. And Virginia, thank you once again for your contributions on Monday, Motivational Monday. If this doesn't get you going and getting you to be grateful for everything, then you'll have to watch the show again. That's all.
Yeah. Just do it.
That's right. Just like Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to you later. Goodbye, everyone.
Have a beautiful day.
Yes, have a beautiful day.